Hey, everybody. This is an on-site version of Daniel Davis Deep Dive. We are live here in front of the White House. Wanted to bring you a quick update on all the things that are going on with the Israel-Hamas war, some of which are happening right here in front of me. We'll get to that in just a second. There has been information out from Reuters here just in the last couple of hours that Qatar is trying to negotiate a new deal to release at least 50 hostages in exchange for a 3-day ceasefire. Now, this is coming on the heels of the Israeli fight going into the Al-Shifa hospital. And that started overnight last night and continues on to this day. At the Pentagon, one of the Pentagon White House spokeswoman was asked about what the U.S. knows about this, and she had this to say.
We do have information that Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad uses some hospitals in the Gaza Strip, including the Al-Shifa hospital.
Do you have any assets inside Gaza?
We have no assets or boots on the ground in Gaza.
So there's no gathering on the ground about this?
That's right.
So you have no one entering the hospitals to verify this information, right?
We have no boots on the ground in Gaza.
Now, the reason why that's significant and that line of questioning is significant is because as scenes continue to come out from that area, both in the hospital and around throughout the Gaza Strip of lots of Palestinian civilians who have been killed, going into a hospital is just something that is really hard to stomach for a lot of the Western people and certainly for those in the region. In fact, Gary, if we can switch over to some of that other video we have here, this is what's going on the scene in front of me right now, where you have some pro IDF and Israel supporters, and then you also have other people, and these are not necessarily pro-Palestinian, but this is people who are just concerned here in the United States that the casualty count among the civilians is going up, and I think there's actually some video here of some of the volunteers here actually putting roses on the on some of the the make-believe corpses that they're putting out here, and it's a pretty sobering scene, I got to say, and it certainly it shows the depth of the emotions that people are feeling here, and that really ties into what we had on one of our earlier deep dive shows earlier this morning with the Western support for the Israeli offensive operations here, and that's crucial for them to maintain. And if these kinds of scenes continue on, and we already have seen some large protests here in Washington, both pro-Palestinian and pro-Israel, just a day ago, and we've seen those large numbers of people. So the emotions are really filling up on both sides, and that's something that the White House is going to have to be concerned about as time goes on, because as we've shown you also on that map from the Google Earth that we have populated sometimes, you see how massive just the area of Gaza is and how many buildings the IDF is going to have to go through. And if these kinds of scenes continue to come on of destruction and of people dying, and some of these in the Al-Shifa hospital that are really getting a lot of attention around the world is of the premature babies who have been in incubators are now having to be taken out because the fuel is gone and the operations of the hospital can no longer function normally, and that's causing some of them to die, and that is anguishing for anyone to see, and that's going to continue to be a problem for the White House, because look, the October 7th is still a very painful issue for the people of Israel, and so many in America recognize that and sympathize with that because of what happened to us on 9/11. But as we see here, this is only the beginning, and just that scene right there where we're showing, you see how many houses there are, how many buildings there are. Most of these are high-rise buildings that have to be taken out floor by floor. In fact, that's what was going on in the Al-Shifa hospital earlier today. The reports that came out said that they had the Israeli Defense Forces were going room by room and floor by floor. This is going to be a problem for the Biden administration because we're torn in the country and probably in the White House too about how far we continue to help Israel in its fight against Hamas, and how far we worried about our own interest, because if we lose support in the United States, then it's going to be hard for the administration to continue supporting Israel to the level that it has, which is a desperate need for Jerusalem as they continue to make these operations inside the Gaza Strip. Well, that's all we have for you at Deep Dive today. We are unafraid and unintimidated, and we're going to keep bringing you the information you need, sometimes from right on the spot where it's happening here in Washington, D.C. Thanks so much, and we will see you on the next episode of Daniel Davis Deep Dive.